What's up, guys? It's Jeff, aka Pumpkin Spice, and today we're going to be looking at the guns that we're getting with update 1.7 Nightfall. First up, we have the Wellride. It doesn't come with anything standard. All of these attachments are completely different from any other pistol in the game, with the exception of tracer rounds, the laser, and quick draw holster. You can put a foregrip bipod on it, you can put a foregrip on it, you can put a bipod on it. You have the exclusive selection of AP rounds and AP tracer rounds, which for some of you OG Sandstorm guys who have been asking for that, well, might not be how you wanted to get it, but you got it. You also got a greased bolt, all of your 1x optics, your holographic, Cobra, Mars, MRO, OKP7, and the aim point. Also the 1.5 PKAS. So, the second gun that we're going to talk about, part of 1.7, is the Sterling. Comes in at 2 points, and the optics are interesting in that domination and checkpoint, your options are iron sights all the way up to a 7x. Yes, a sniper scope. In frontline, firefight, and checkpoint, they're limited, of course. You can get a 1.5 PKAS, a 1x Cobra, 1x Mars, 1x OKP7, and a 2x Cobra. Foregrip, suppressor, extended magazine, and laser sight. The low rate of fire with this gun, coupled with a 7x sniper scope, is very, very fun to see. It's very fun to shoot. Recoil's got to be managed just a little bit, but I like this. I'm glad that they gave us these meme guns to play around with. It makes things just a little bit more interesting, especially with the new night modes. I'm excited to make those videos and get them out to you. Third gun that we're getting with this update, and the last of the World War II relics, in this case, is going to be the grease gun. It comes in at 2 points for security and respective modes. And the optic choices and domination checkpoint go from iron sights all the way to 4x. In the other modes, they're limited just like any other gun. 1x hollow, 1x MRO, 1x red dot, 2x holographic, 2x red dot. The barrel attachments for all modes, flash hider suppressor, and the advanced suppressor. This is interesting. This caught my eye last night when I was playing Frenzy on night mode, which is fun on all maps. Should be enjoyed by everybody. Besides the point, the advanced suppressor is kind of like a combination of a compensator and a suppressor. It might sound like a Tinker Toy when you shoot it, but boy, is it easy to control and hit shots like far shots, way further than I thought 45 ACP could go, especially with the muzzle velocity being so low in the game. This gun, I love it. This is probably my favorite out of the relics. One more note on the grease gun. I'm wondering if they're thinking about implementing the advanced suppressor elsewhere, or maybe trying to play with some other things. I'm curious, because that's like its own thing. I can't imagine them creating the information around it and code around it in game and it not be used somewhere else. So we'll have to stay on the lookout for that one, you know. All right, so the fourth gun on our list, and the first of our modern guns that we're getting, is the Honey Badger for security, coming at 5 points. Just like all the other guns, the sights are not limited in domination checkpoint. They are limited from irons to 2x. However, in frontline, firefight, and push, the most interesting aspect I want to talk about this gun in those game modes is the fact that the Honey Badger is taking the place of the MK18 in the Breacher class. It also has the same iron sights as the MK18, which I love. Kind of sad that I can't fall back on, you know, the Breacher class to play with the MK18 whenever all advisors are taken up. But at the same time, you know, all these guns have to have a place in the game. They can't just be like spread out all over. And I would love more overlap, but then you would get kind of redundancy, and classes wouldn't mean as much. So I understand why they, you know, took the MK18 out. What I can't understand for this gun is why it's kind of a little erratic, it seems like, in landing shots. The drop-off seems like it's much closer than it should be, and I noticed that all these guns, the drop-off is closer. You have to compensate for, you know, the distance at which the bullet's traveling, and the bullet drop it's happening a lot sooner, but I think it's happening too soon for this gun in general. It's just this one in particular. The other guns, it feels comfortable. Like, you know, you shoot the round and it lands where you think it's gonna land at. Even with the new bullet drop, which I thought was like crazy when I started playing with these guns in the test range. I noticed the bullet drop and it was easy to adjust. But this gun is something's kind of off on it. I don't know. There might be a bug with it or something like that, or the recoil might be a little bit too erratic for the round that's coming out of it. I'm not sure. But one thing I do want to point out, the way that they're trying to balance this gun is there's no extended mag. You have foregrip, flash hider, compensator, suppressor, and a laser sight. Tracer rounds, of course. But there's no extended mag. You can't pick an extended mag. So just want to point that out. I do like this gun. I don't want to down it because it is fun to shoot. It's just so hard to land shots right now. I don't know if that's like a bug in the CTE or what. But I'll reserve my real opinion for it when it releases, I guess, more or less. The last gun that we're getting is the ASVAL. Or the ASVAL, as some people have called it. I love this gun. I love the way it shoots. I love the way it feels. Everything about it is right. It's for the Insurgents, coming in at 7 points. Of course, limited sights. This is a breacher class. It only goes up to 2 buys. Foregrip. You don't have a muzzle attachment since it's got an integrated suppressor. You do have an extended mag and laser sight. I want to touch on 2 things. Alright, because this is my favorite gun out of all of them. It would be like ASVAL, Grease Gun for memes, and then Honey Badger, Wellride, Sterling. And it's not like I don't like the Sterling, but it's just not as meme worthy as the other 2. As for the ASVAL, I do think that the cost of the weapon is a little bit too high compared. It more falls in line with the MP7, I think. It might have a little bit of a faster fire rate, but it feels like an MP7 should feel, you know, for the Insurgent size. That's where I really think it falls in line with. It doesn't fill the role of the AKS 74U, which I also want to point out is there was a reduction on points, and I'm going to get around to that once it's in the live build. I want to see it in the live build first just to make sure that they stick with it. But as the ASVAL stands in the CTE right now, I think the points could be reduced, and I actually do think the extended mag, the point cost for that should be increased. I think that's really low for 10 extra shots, and I would say make it 3 or 4 like you do with the MP7. It does feel more like it belongs in an MP7 spot, though. That's just my opinion. I love it. It's still my favorite gun out of all these, and it's probably right now my favorite gun in the game. It's just disgusting. It's like having Clarence in your hands. That's the only way I can describe this thing. And man, whew, it's good. It feels really good. They did they got an A+ on that one. I mean, they might not have the points I might not like or whatever, and thinking that it falls, that's whatever. The gun itself is 100% golden. You know, everything, it was real intuitive and easy to grasp as far as handling. Man, that was a home run on that one. That's all we're gonna talk about today for the guns, because I do realize that they've messed with a few of the other ones. You know, reduced the points on. They did reduce the points on the Galil and the Galil SAR, along with the AK-74U, and I've noticed some sights are jumping from, you know, one side to the other depending on what mode you're playing. And I thought that was interesting. I think that's what they were talking about when they said that they were going to be playing around with sites back in March. So I think that we're seeing that come into the game, and there's a lot in this update. There's so much that is out on the CTE. Like, you can make a 20-minute, 30-minute video just on an overview, a light overview of everything. So stay on the lookout. I am going to be doing more videos. I will be streaming a little bit more. My ISP went back to shit, so I don't know. I might stream again this weekend. I'll give you guys a heads up on the social media websites. Follow me on Twitter, on Twitch. Hit like and subscribe down below if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Peace.